This is a pretty exciting time, I think, for startup founders and venture capitalists as far as the opportunity that we're seeing in technology and beyond. Describe a little bit in terms of what you do and what you're looking for at your company.
So we're an investor, so we invest in slightly later stage companies that are generating revenue, specifically in the industrial Internet of Things with a smart city component to it as well. So we look for those relentless hunters, the individuals and the teams that have surrounded those relentless hunters that have a lot of domain expertise, are super passionate about what they do, but they're also really good leaders and they know how to empower the people around them and pick people that really complement what their skill set already is.
When you talk about relentless hunters, that term itself, many people may think of a man who fulfills that role. What are you seeing today that would give us hope as far as more women who become those relentless hunters?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. I get asked all the time, and regardless of gender, it's kind of like, how do you know? And when you see it, you know. It's somebody who just doesn't give up, that they actually have exercised their muscle of resiliency. So when you think about resiliency, it is a muscle. You have to use it a whole bunch of times, right? And it's about not giving up. And so I think what we're seeing, again, regardless of gender, we see leaders that are really resilient. So when they get told no, which of course, in the world of venture, we say no to people all the time, right? We're in the business of saying no. We're rarely in the business of saying yes. And what you'll see with those relentless hunters is somebody who hears the no, but really hears maybe just not yet. And so they kind of take the feedback, they really build off of the rapport that they've got with the potential investor. And they're thinking, okay, so what can I do to really kind of take the feedback I just got, incorporate it into my business, and go back for more, one more time, one more pitch to see if you can actually get that money. So we do see it, but women tend to have a bit more of I'd like to say almost like a social intelligence or even a social grace about them, where they can connect with people on a personal level almost right out of the gate. So they don't have to be all business right away. And what you can see is you can kind of see how the threads of how they lead and what they're trying to do and the passion that they've got with their narrative really come through, even though it might be in a different way that you perhaps would see a man pitch his business.
The thing that worries me a little bit is that perhaps there are plenty of women out there who are relentless hunters, who are starting their own businesses, but maybe they don't know that they should meet with a VC, and maybe they don't know that they could build a business that could be a massively successful business. How do you make that connection? How do we get more women to understand that they can be successful founders. They can grow companies. They should look for investment. They should think bigger.
Yeah, it's such a good question. I think a big part of it is around the ecosystem play that you have around you. Some of the entrepreneurs that kind of need to come out of their shell and they need to think big, they need support. And when I talk about support, they need mentors and coaches around there that have been there and done that. And even if those mentors and coaches haven't been epically successful, but they're ahead of them in what they're trying to achieve with their business, they can give them a lot of guidance and a lot of mentorship to try and get there. The other thing is when you're creating your business and you were going out and pitching so you can get your funding and you've got your presentation and you're pitching your business all the time. If you're in an elevator, if you're obviously sitting on stage, if you are just on a phone call with an introductory phone call with somebody who might not even be an investor but might know other investors, I think it's really important that you practice and prepare and do it in front of people who can give you the guidance on how you're thinking about your business. So don't do it within kind of your own cocoon or your own embodiment. Do it with others that can help you kind of pop out of your shell a little bit more. But in order to do that, you need to ask for help. You need to surround yourself with these champions of the been there, done that, kind of entrepreneurs. and the investors that actually really care. And I think that that's what we're getting. We're getting much, much better at that, globally, but certainly in Canada, when you think about some of the accelerators and incubators and just, kind of support systems that we have, things like Mars and of course Stand Up Ventures, where we're really trying to surround a lot of these entrepreneurs with this type of assistance, we'll really see a big change.